you want to retire in 2022 and start taking your Social Security, but you still want to work part-time because who can live on Social Security, right? Social Security has an earnings limit that you cannot exceed. If you do, they don't throw you in jail. They just reduce your Social Security. So the earnings limit for 2022 is $19,560. So let's say almost 20 grand. If you go over it, say you're like, I want to work, but I make about 35, 30, 40 grand. You still might find it attractive to take Social Security early and work, even though they are going to reduce your Social Security. For every $2 you go over that 20 grand, they'll reduce your Social Security by $1. So if you go over at 10 grand, they'll reduce your Social Security 5 grand. Still might be worth it. You still might be up 15, 20 grand, and you're like, Social Security plus that 15 to 20 grand, that's doable. I can live off that. Now, the money they take back because you exceeded that earnings limit, you don't just lose that. You will get that back at your full retirement age. Your full retirement age, what is it? I don't know. How old are you? It's a sliding scale based on your birthday. So anybody born after 1960, like I was, your full retirement age will be 67. Everybody else, it's between 66 and 67. So right now you can Google it and go find out what yours is. So if you want to take Social Security early, the earliest you can elect to grab your Social Security money, remember this is your money, grab it is 62. Now your full retirement age, like I said, is going to be closer to 67. So if you grab it at 62, that's 5 years early. So you will get a reduction. You won't get 100% of what you would have gotten if you would have waited till your full retirement age. But that's okay. You're like, fine, at least I get it now. And a lot of people go, shouldn't I wait? Well, maybe not. Because when you give it up for 5 years and you're giving up 15, 20 grand a year for 5 years, that's a lot of money. You have to live a long time to break even, right? So there's break-even calculators available on the internet. You can go avail yourself to those and figure out if it's worth it. It's typically not worth it. If you're working full-time, clearly you don't want to do it. Because if you're making $100,000 a year, remember I said for every $2 over, they'll reduce your Social Security by $1. So no, you don't want to do it. But if you're close to that 20 grand threshold, you're working part-time, I would definitely recommend that you do go get your money, even though you're close to exceeding that earnings limit. This $19,560 that the earnings limit is, I'm just rounding it up to 20 grand. That's for people that are on regular Social Security. If you're on disability, then it'll be considerably lower. So for the average American that is going to take retirement, Social Security retirement, that earnings limit applies. That's to wages. It's not to all the money that comes into you. So let's say I'm going to take my Social Security, and I know I can't go over that $19,560, but I have a pension. That pension won't count. Won't count towards that we'll just say 20 grand. It won't count. How about I get alimony? Won't count. How about unemployment? Lottery winnings, gambling. I've had quite a few gamblers that say, does that count? No. What counts is wages. What are you getting paid that FICA comes out of? So that wouldn't be an inheritance, right? There's just so many different things that wouldn't count other than wages, which does count. So if you're an insurance agent like me, your renewal commissions do not count. That's always really good news for fellow insurance agents. So you want to take Social Security early, you want to work part-time, that's cool. When you reach your full retirement age, like I said, that's different for everyone. Google it and find out when yours is. Then you can earn as much money as you want for the rest of your life. There will no longer be an earnings limit. So that's good news, because a lot of people are like, if I take Social Security at 62, what do I care about a full retirement age? That's why you care, because you can continue to work as much as you want, and they won't take it away. Now let's talk about this money they take away, because I said the earnings limit for next year, 2022, is going to be around 20 grand. But your job pays you 30 grand, and you're like, well, I went over 10,000. They're going to reduce my Social Security by 5,000, but I'm still up. It's still worth it. I agree. You should do it. But what happens to that $5,000 that they reduce my Social Security by? Do I get it back? You do. You will get it back at your full retirement age. No, you're not going to get back a lump sum, which is what you think you're going to get. It's what you would prefer to get, right? At your full retirement age, they'll recalculate your benefit and they'll throw it in there and recalculate your life expectancy, and they'll say you get an extra $10 a month for the rest of your life. So yeah, you do get it back if you live long enough. You know, no, it's not the lump sum that you would prefer, but at least it's not a true penalty, in which case you wouldn't get any of it back ever. So that's how it works. If you have more questions about the Social Security earnings limit, which does go up every year, so they just adjusted it for 2022, you can reach out to us at themedicarefamily.com. It's 1-800-970-1964. We can help you get ready for retirement. We specialize in Medicare. But since Medicare and Social Security kind of dovetail, we're answering a lot of questions about Social Security. And then when you get ready for Medicare, we're here to help you. So if anybody has any questions, I got a question. I currently get my hubby that passed away Social Security death benefit. If I take my Social Security, do I lose the death benefit? Jeanette, you can only get one Social Security benefit. So you will get whichever one is higher. If you're getting survivor benefits because your husband passed, you could switch to yours if yours is more. So here's the little strategy for widows. You would take your husband's, which you can take as early as age 60, and your own work history, that continues to grow. That will max out at age 70. So you stay on your survivor benefits until 70, and then you can switch. If your own benefit at that time has grown to more than your survivors, you can kind of give yourself a raise and you'll be at that amount for the rest of your life. So that's a little trick that's really only available to widows and widowers. Keep that in mind. At 70, it maxes out, depending on what your benefit is, how young your husband passed away, how much he had earned and paid in. It might be advantageous for you to switch over to yours sooner than 70 because it's so much more. But that's information that only Social Security could answer for you. You'll have to call them and they can give you those estimates and help you plan better for your retirement. My pleasure, Jeanette Ellis. Thank you. I just started doing these lives on YouTube, so I'm not really sure if I'm doing it right. But thank you for watching. I never know when I'll do another one, but if you have something you'd like for me to do a live on, go ahead and put it in the comments and I will do it for you.